So once you release onto your support, take any gentle micro movement that you might need so that you can begin to settle in. Invite this grounding pose to just be a time to shift the awareness inward. Begin to release any gripping or tension through your face or through your jaw. It's fine to let the teeth separate from one another if that feels natural to you. And as you feel your spine resting on the support, continue to just scan through the body. Soften behind your neck. Invite the shoulders to rest away from the ears. And feel the support of the rib cage resting down into your bolster or pillow, whatever support you have underneath your spine. And the arms can rest at your side or on the belly. Could even play with bringing the arms above head if that feels okay for the shoulders. And take a moment here to notice any active need to hold yourself up through the hips or the legs. Inviting any unnecessary gripping to be let go a little more as you exhale. As you feel the body becoming a little more heavy, I invite you to shift the awareness to your breath. Feel the inhale and the exhale. And maybe even notice where the breath is at, if it's in the belly or resting in the chest. And does the inhale feel more full than the exhale? Or is the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale? There's no right or wrong. Just taking a moment here to notice, to be present with your breath. Maybe it feels authentic to allow the inhale and the exhale to equalize or to be the same length, the same count, in and out. Maybe taking deeper breath in or letting the exhale be longer feels good this morning. And as you rest here in this gentle chest opener, I invite you to take a moment to just become aware of any thoughts that might be rolling around. You could invite those to be set aside or gently observe them. Notice any emotions that might be present, allowing however you feel to just be, not needing to change it or to judge it or to label it, just observing. And from here, take a moment to become aware of your whole body. Notice any sensations that you might feel. When you're ready, you can start to find some gentle movement, maybe rolling out through the wrists and the ankles. It may feel nice to bend the knees if they're not, and let them rock side to side or to reach above head. Take your time. And with your knees bent, take a moment here to let the knees fall to your left. And if this feels okay for the shoulders, you could bring the arms above head and reach a little more over to the right. Just taking a gentle side body opener here. Extending the arms out, you could reach through the fingertips and take a few deep breaths. Feel the breath moving in the belly. Notice any sensation in the low back or in the shoulders and the neck. With your next inhale, you can bring the body back to center. And then from here, let the knees fall to the right and reach the arms up and over to the left. Again, exploring a few deep breaths here as you open through the belly and the side body. And with your inhale, bring the body back to center. From here, you can either roll to one side or use your hands to help yourself up so that you can move the props away from your mat. So moving away the bolster, your pillow. And set that to the side. And then take a moment to find your strap or whatever support you have for your strap. You can bring that within reach and then come back on to your back. It may feel nice to let the knees rock side to side here for a moment. You could play with hugging them in toward your chest. Maybe taking some circles, just some gentle side to side, massaging the spine, the low back. Feeling how the chest opener felt through the shoulders and the collarbone area, through the rib cage. When you're ready, release the feet if they're not. Find your strap and place it on the bottom of your right foot and take the right leg up toward the ceiling. From here, you can begin to take some rotations through the ankle, exploring, going one way a few times and then the other. It's beginning to really be in the body, present to what this range of motion feels like, present to what sensations you're experiencing through the calf muscle, the hamstring, or the foot. And take a little bit of movement, squeezing and spreading the toes a few times, maybe even pointing and flexing, reaching the toes up toward the ceiling, and then drawing them back down. And then the next time the foot is flexed, take a moment to pause here. You could keep a little bit of tension on the strap, and then just begin to play with bending the knee any amount, and then actively pressing the foot back up toward the ceiling. So you can give yourself a little bit of tension on the strap, a little bit of resistance here, inviting the hamstring to begin opening up. If you would like to get a little deeper into your calf muscle, you could play with bringing the strap up to the ball of the foot. And take this variation, pressing the strap down as you press the leg straight up toward the ceiling. Take a few more and make sure you're breathing here. Nothing to judge or to change, just observing what sensations are present. Take one more round. And the next time you reach the leg up toward the ceiling, you can turn the right toes and then begin to open the right leg out any amount here. Feel the left side rooted down, connected. You may feel helpful to let the left knee drop out to the side. You can even play with lifting the left foot or extending the left leg out. So this will be different for everyone. You can find what feels best for you so that you maintain connection through your left side. Take some deep breath. Feel the breath moving into the low belly as you open through your inner thigh here, through the hip. And with your next inhale, bring the right leg back to center. Take a moment here to root the back of the right hip down, and then moving the leg to the left just a few inches. And start to stretch through the outside of the right leg here, through the hip extender and the IT band. And finding the sensation of root to rise, actively reaching the right hip down and then pressing the foot up toward the ceiling. Take a couple more breaths. From here, you can bring your leg back to center and release the strap. It may feel nice to hug your knee in or to lengthen the legs out. Maybe even letting them rock side to side. You may notice if the right side feels a little longer than the left now. This sense of warmth and space. And when you feel ready, you can begin to move to the second side, placing the strap on your left foot, bring the left leg up. Begin to take some circles through the ankle, bringing a little bit of movement here in this joint. Maybe squeeze and spread the toes several times. You can take some pointing and flexing movements if that feels okay. Invite your shoulders and your jaw to relax, letting go of any excessive gripping or tension. Noticing other parts of the body that try to help when we experience tightness or sensation. And then once you have taken a few pointing and flexing movements, the next time your foot is flexed or when you feel ready, you can begin to play with bending the knee and then actively pressing back up toward the ceiling. So it's fine here if the leg starts to shake. This is common. Just engaging some of the deeper muscles, some of the muscles that rest along the tendons behind the leg, behind the knee. So if that's happening, it's fine. You can let that happen. If you want a little more through the calf muscle here, you could bring the strap to the ball of the foot, keeping some tension as you press up and bend the knee. Take 2 or 3 more. And the next time you reach up toward the ceiling, take a moment to turn the toes to the left and allow the leg to open out to your left. Again, it doesn't matter how far this goes, as long as you're maintaining connection through the right side. Rooting into the rib cage, into the hip. Can you invite the breath to move into the low belly? Into the pelvic floor as you notice the inner thigh and the hip opening up. And with your next inhale, bring the left leg up. Reaching the leg toward the ceiling, take a moment to root the back of the left hip down. And then take the left leg over to the right, just a few inches. Doesn't have to go far here. Thinking about root to rise, pressing the back of the hip down as you reach the foot actively toward the ceiling. Take a few breaths as you notice how this feels. Maybe feeling sensation all the way through the outside of the leg, even to the ankle, through the IT band. And from here, you can bring the leg back to center and release the strap. You can set that to the side and find some neutralizing movement. Maybe lengthening out or hugging in. Take your time. From here, when you're ready, take a moment to bend the knees and then gently roll to your right side. You can let the arms stack on top of one another. And if you need more support for your head, it's fine to use a blanket or a pillow here. We're going to move into clamshell twist. You can invite the knees to stack on top of one another. And then when you're ready, inhale the left arm up and all the way over. Let the torso follow. You can invite your gaze to follow. Feeling a little bit of a stretch through the side of the neck. But if this feels too intense, it's fine to have the gaze upward or even down the right shoulder. And take a moment here to gently lift your rib cage and scoot the ribs over to the right, underneath you. Broadening the shoulder blades. It may feel nice to invite the breath to deepen. You're taking some intentional breath into the belly, into the side body. Observe your rib cage expanding and contracting. And notice if the hips are gripping, if there's any tension through the legs. Maybe invite that to be let go. And with your next inhale, you can bring the left arm up and over to meet the right. Pausing here just a moment, you can roll the shoulders forward. Notice any sensation that you might feel through the spine. And then when you're ready, you can gently roll onto your back. And then over to your left side, stacking the arms out in front and the knees on top of one another. From here, when you're ready, you can take the right arm up and over to the right, twisting open. Again, it may feel nice to lift the ribs of the shoulder blades, scooting them underneath you to the left. Turning the gaze any direction that feels good for you this morning. It's fine to let the eyes close or to soften the gaze. Spending a moment here to shift your awareness into your breath. Into the belly and the rib cage as you give the spine a gentle twist, and the organs a gentle massage. Notice any other sensation that you might feel in the body, gripping through the legs or the glutes, the hands or the feet. Maybe invite your jaw to soften. Breathing in nourishment for your body this morning. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. And with your next inhale, when you're ready, you can bring the right arm up and over to meet the left. Pausing here, let the shoulders roll a little more forward. And then when you're ready, press into the hands and begin to help yourself up, coming into seated position. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together here. If there's a lot of rounding in the spine, it may feel nice to sit up on something so that you can keep the length of your spine here, not tucking the tail under, rounding through the low back. And think about keeping the shoulders resting away from the ears and the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. If this feels like enough, you're welcome to stay here. If you want a little more, you can think about starting to reach the heart forward, getting a little bit deeper into the front hip flexor and into the inner thigh. Soften your jaw as you start to notice the sensation that you feel. There's a lot of space in your body and you want a little bit more, it's also fine to walk the hands forward or to round through the shoulders, maybe letting your head release. I invite you to find whatever variation feels best for you. Honoring your body wherever it's at, however it feels for you. Receiving the support that you might need. Inviting space into the low back, into the hips. Take a few more breaths. And with your next inhale, start to help yourself up. If you're not already, you can take the hands behind you, draw your knees together, and let them rock side to side. Finding a little bit of neutralizing movement here. You can even play with walking the feet a little bit further apart, taking the knees a little more at a 90-degree angle, if this feels okay for the hips. And when you're ready, transition back to seated and take the right leg out to your side. So if it doesn't work to have the left leg in, you can have it out in front or out to the side. It's fine to adjust as you need. Take a moment here to turn your body to the right leg. When you're ready, inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward any amount. And let the hands rest wherever they land. So maybe the knee or shin or on the floor is fine. Maybe finding your foot. For some of you, take your time. Easing into this position, you can invite the shoulders to round forward. So still thinking about keeping some space in the low back, but it's fine to have a little bit of rounding in the upper spine, in the shoulders. Maybe let the head release. If you want a little bit more here, you can think about flexing the foot, drawing the toes back toward the body as you press the heel into the floor, into your mat. Take one more deep breath in and all the way out. And with your inhale, come up. Turn the body back to center. Take the right hand out to the side. When you're ready, inhale the left arm up and exhale, bow. Think about opening through the shoulders and the rib cage. And then take a moment to explore a little bit of movement for the neck here. So finding areas that might feel a little bit sticky. You can play with turning the gaze downward or up toward the ceiling. Maybe just taking these half circles, or imagining that you're drawing a line to your nose or chin. Continue opening through the shoulders. Soften your jaw. And then when you're ready, bring your head back to neutral. Inhale, come up, and exhale, release. From here, you can bring the right leg in and take the left leg out, moving to the second side. From here, when you're ready, you can turn your body to the left leg. Inhale the arms up, and then as you exhale, fold all the way forward. Let your head release. Invite some breath as you notice what sensations you feel in the low back, through the hamstring, and the back line of the leg. Continue rooting the hips down, inviting the right hip to press into the mat, maintaining that connection. You can explore one more deep breath here, in and all the way out. And then on your next inhale, start to help yourself up. Coming back to center. You can bring the left hand to the side when you're ready. Inhale your right arm up. And exhale, bow. So still thinking about pressing open through the shoulders, rotating the rib cage open. From here, you can explore a little more movement for the neck, for the head. Finding areas that might feel a little sticky, just observing what sensation is present. Think about inviting some space into the neck, away from the shoulders. And then from here, bring the head back to neutral. And inhale, come up. And exhale, release. You can bring the left leg out in front, maybe taking some windshield wiper movements for a moment. And when you're ready, begin to transition into table. Coming on to hands and knees. If you would like support underneath the knees, you can use a blanket or a pillow to support the knees. And let the wrists fall under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. And when you're ready, you can begin to take some cat and cow on the inhale, opening the heart forward. And as you exhale, rounding through the spine, let your head release. It's fine to invite these into other movements here that might feel good. So if taking linear movement doesn't feel good for your body, or you feel like you want to take a little more of a circular movement or some rotations in the rib cage or the hips, I invite you to take your time exploring that. Checking in with how the spine feels. Maybe noticing the hips, the strength of your arms and your breath. Take one or two more rounds here. And with your next inhale, come back to center. And take a moment to shift your weight into the right side, into the hip. You can press into the hands, gently shifting the weight back. And then inhale back to center and exhale over to your left. Just gently opening through the outside of the hip. Good. Inhale back to center, and then from here, slowly lower all the way to your belly. Lying on your belly, take a moment to bring the hands to the rib cage. You can play with lifting one leg and then the other, giving yourself a little bit more space, starting to connect to the low back, opening up. Think about pressing the feet down as you invite the inner thighs to draw toward one another. And then using the hands for support, take a moment to draw the elbows back toward the body or toward the back of your mat. Draw the rib cage in, and then on your inhale, just lift the head and chest a few inches away from the mat. Doesn't have to go far. So getting into prone mountain, think about keeping the back of your neck long. And then feel your breath. The legs are active. You can give yourself a little playtime here, thinking about lifting the hands away from the mat. So you draw the belly in. Take one more breath. And on the exhale, lower all the way down. You can stack your hands to rest the head. Take a moment here to let the hips rock side to side. You could also bend the knees and let the feet rock side to side. And we're going to do that one more time, but I want to give you a different variation option. So when you're ready, you can release the legs if they're not. Maybe lifting one leg and then the other again to find your alignment. Pressing through the feet, through the belly, bring the hands to the rib cage. So this will be option one. Coming back into prone mountain when you're ready. Inhale the head and chest up just a few inches. Gaze can be downward here, back of the neck long. So again, you can play with staying here. You could bring the hands away from the mat. This is feeling okay and you want a challenge, you can think about reaching the arms behind you. Nice long spine here. Keep breathing. Let your jaw soften. Feel the strength in your back body. And on the exhale, release, stack the hands, rest your head. And then wiggle it out or rock the knees side to side, letting go of any gripping. Observing how that felt. And from here, you can release the feet. Bring the hands to the rib cage. Press up into table. And then transitioning to downward dog. From here, when you're ready, tuck the toes. Lift your hips up and all the way back. Pedal out the feet. Take some movement here. As you lengthen through the spine, it may feel nice to keep the knees bent, extending the tail up toward the ceiling, or thinking about reaching the heart back toward the thighs. You can keep this downward dog moving, or if you want to pause for a moment in stillness, taking a breath, you're welcome to explore whatever feels best for you. Take 2 more breaths wherever you're at. And when you're ready, look to the front of your mat and walk the feet forward, coming into a forward fold. You can take ragdoll if you'd like, holding opposite elbows. Maybe inviting the arms to swing here or just to dangle. And with your inhale, lift halfway up, touching shins or knees. On the exhale, fold all the way forward. Let your head release. And take a moment to interlace the hands behind your head. You can let the thumbs rest on the neck. And then using the support of gravity, let's begin to let the elbows fall forward. So not needing to actively push the head toward the chest. Just letting gravity do the work here. It may feel nice to keep the knees bent. Continue breathing as you notice what sensations you feel. On the exhale, release the arms and inhale, lift halfway up. Pause here. Good. On the exhale, fold all the way forward and then coming all the way up when you're ready. Press into the feet, sweep the arms out and up. Lift and rise, reaching tall. And let the shoulders relax down as you reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then when you're ready, bend at the elbows. Inhale to lengthen. And then on the exhale, reach up and over to your right. Good. Inhale, come up. Lengthen here, and then reach up and over to your left. When you're ready, inhale, come up, release the hands to your side or in front of your heart. Take a moment to check in, feel your breath. Feel the feet rooted down. Good, when you're ready, release the hands if they're not. And step the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. And from here, when you're ready, inhale the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, begin to sit down into your imaginary chair. Sitting down any amount here. You could keep the hands out in front of you. You could take them to your heart, or you can let them rest on the top of your thighs. So finding whatever variation makes sense for you today. Tapping into the strength of your legs. Feel your breath. Think about keeping the spine long. So notice if you're wanting to arch in the low back, maybe inviting the belly to draw in. Keep breathing. And with your next breath, press into the feet, sweep the arms out and up, lift and rise. And then as you exhale, twist open to the right. We're going to keep this flowing. So inhale the arms up, back to center, and then exhale to the left. One more time when you're ready. Inhale up. Exhale, open to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, open to the left. And then this time coming back to center. Inhale the arms up. And then as you exhale, sit back down into your imaginary chair. Keep breathing. Find your alignment. Drawing in the rib cage. And rooting the feet down. Feel the support. Good, on the exhale, fold all the way forward. Let your head release. And with your inhale, lift halfway up. On the exhale, fold. Place the hands for downward dog and step all the way back. You can take some movement here, pedaling out the feet, checking in with what you feel. And with your inhale, come forward into plank. Knees can be up or down. Think about pressing the shoulder blades up toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Take a moment to lift one leg and then the other. Pressing the feet into the mat. Draw your inner thighs toward one another. And then inhale, come up onto forearms. Moving into Sphinx pose. You can think about reaching the heart forward. Notice your breath. And on the exhale, lower all the way down. Preparing for downward dog, bring the hands to the rib cage, tuck your toes. When you're ready, press yourself up and all the way back. Can pedal out the feet again here. Maybe just take some side to side movement through the knees, some windshield wiper movements. We're going to transition to the top of your mat. So when you're ready, look forward and step into forward fold. When you're ready, inhale, lift halfway up. On the exhale, fold. Press into the feet, sweep the arms out and up, lift and rise. Hands can rest at your side or in front of your heart. Invite your awareness inward. Feel the rhythm of your heart and your breath. Any places of warmth, just noticing. All right, take a moment to release the hands if they're not, and then find your strap. We're going to do a little bit to open the shoulders here, standing. And once you have your strap, you can bring the arms up. The hands can be a little bit wider than shoulder width here. And then when you're ready, you're going to play with bending the right elbow, reaching the left arm behind you. So if the elbow doesn't reach all the way up toward the ceiling, that's fine. You can take the left hand a little more behind you, then out to the side. We'll think about keeping the spine nice and long. And then notice if the rib cage wants to come forward. From here, you can think about pressing the ribs back into the body. Allow the back of your neck to be long. Take one more breath, in and out. With your next inhale, reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, take the right arm out to the side or behind you. Opening through the left shoulder this time. Do your best to soften the shoulders and the neck and your jaw. And with your inhale, bring the arms up. And then widen the hands just a little bit more here. And then take the hands behind you just a few inches. So it doesn't have to go far. I'm starting to create a little bit more space through the chest, through the shoulder blades. Feel your breath. And we're going to add one more variation. So when you're ready, step the feet wide. Take a breath in here, pressing into the feet as you exhale. Start to sit down into your imaginary chair. And then if this is feeling okay, you can play with folding forward, letting your head release. Take a few breaths wherever you're at. When you're ready, you press into the feet. Inhale, slowly come up. Bring the hands up toward the ceiling and then release the strap. You can set that to the side. Take a moment to roll out the shoulders, checking in. And then coming to the top of your mat. When you're ready, inhale the arms up. And exhale, fold all the way forward. Place your hands for downward dog. Step all the way back. Not going to be here long, just transitioning. Maybe pedal the feet a time or two. And then when you're ready, release your knees and let the hips sit back toward the heels, taking child's pose, or you could take extended puppy, keeping the tail lifted up, reaching the heart toward the floor, maybe stacking the hands to rest the head. Either variation. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel your breath moving along your back body. Maybe inviting one or two more deeper breaths in. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to help yourself up. And then transition on to your back. Letting the knees be bent. You can transition in whatever way makes sense for you. Coming onto the spine, you may want to have support for your head or neck. We're going to move into eye of the needle here. So with the knees bent, when you're ready, you can take the right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Drawing the toes back toward the knee, flexing the foot. You're welcome to stay here. You could also play with reaching through and hugging the knees in toward your chest, holding behind the knee, or using a strap for support. Take a few deep breaths here. And may feel nice to let the knees rock side to side. We're exploring, exploring some gentle circles. Take 2 or 3 more deeper breaths. And when you're ready, you can start to release. And crossing the right leg, it may feel nice to take some neutralizing movement, hugging the knees in or lengthening out. Take your time. And then when you feel ready, you can move to the second side. Cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh. Again, it's fine to stay here as you flex the foot, drawing the left toes back toward the knee. You could reach through and hug the knees in toward your chest. Maybe even using a strap behind the right leg. And it's fine to take some side to side movement here, or maybe some circles. Take a few more full breaths in and out. And when you're ready, you can release the legs. Uncrossing the left leg, find some neutralizing movement. All right, so I want to offer legs up the wall or any form of that variation, elevating the legs. So if you have a wall or a door close by, I'm going to demonstrate that, and then if you don't have that, you could use a few pillows stacked up. You could use the seat of a chair. So whatever variation makes the most sense to you. But getting into legs of the wall, if you're taking this variation, you want to think about sitting with your hip against the edge of the wall. And then from here, you can start to lower the arms down onto the floor, taking one leg at a time up to the wall. And then shifting the torso. So if this variation is not accessible to you, and you could just have a few pillows stacked up underneath your knee. You could use a chair, having the legs resting on the seat of the chair. Demonstrate this one could be an option as well. Just thinking about having a little bit of elevation for the legs. Take your time. As you feel the body starting to settle into whatever variation you're in, see if you can invite the back of your neck to be long. Invite the shoulders to soften away from the ears. Then I want to invite a breathing technique here. If this feels good for you, if this doesn't work for you, or if it doesn't feel good to breathe in this particular way, just allow your breath to move in whatever way it wants to move, not needing to control it or to change it. The breathing technique I want to invite is known as 3-part breath. The idea is that you're breathing into the full belly and into the chest. So on the inhale will start in the low belly. And then you'll feel the breath moving into the diaphragm, into the mid-belly. And then last, up into the chest, into the throat. And then the exhale will be the reverse of that. So exhaling, letting the chest release, allowing the diaphragm to drop down, to soften. And then breathing the rest of the air out of the low belly. We'll take a few rounds of this breath. If this is feeling okay for you, if it feels hard to breathe this way, or any anxiousness or nervousness is arising, just allow your breath to be natural. Not every breathing technique works for everyone, so it's important to honor what you're feeling as you explore this breathing technique. Allow the legs to feel heavy in their hip sockets. Maybe notice if you can soften a little more with each exhale. If you're exploring the 3-part breath, take one more round, in and out. And then at the bottom of the exhale, you can just let the breath move naturally. And begin to invite your awareness back into the body. And maybe taking some movement, rolling out the ankles. And in whatever way it's accessible to you, can take a moment to bend the knees and gently roll to one side. Pausing on your side, or you can help yourself up so that you can transition to the mat and into any final comfortable resting position. So this could be done lying on your back, traditionally in Shavasana. You could also take this lying on your side or belly. Any other variation with or without support is fine. So take your time, beginning to settle. Finding a place where you can invite the body to rest for a few minutes. As you take your time settling in, start to notice what places in the body that you can invite to release through your jaw, the shoulders, maybe the space between your eyebrows, through the cheeks. And continue scanning through. Let the rib cage soften. Soften through the hips and the low back, the belly. And take a moment to notice any other places, unnecessary gripping or tension. Invite those to be released a little bit more. I'd like to end the session with the writings of the author Susan Polis Schultz. This comes from the book Mindfulness Day by Day. With everything going on right now in the world and in our personal lives, I feel like this is a good reading to bring things into perspective. We need to feel more to understand others. We need to love more to be loved back. We need to cry more to cleanse ourselves. We need to laugh more to enjoy ourselves. We need to be honest and fair when interacting with people. We need to establish a strong ethical basis as a way of life. We need to see more than our own fantasies. We need to hear more and listen to the needs of others. We need to give more and take less. We need to share more and own less. We need to realize the importance of the family as a backbone to stability. We need to look more and realize that we are not so different from one another. We need to create a world where we can trust one another. We need to create a world where we can all peacefully live the life we choose. Invite your mind and body to release another 5 to 10%. Feel the weight of your bones as you rest here with nothing else to do in this moment. Feel the gentle flow of your inhale and exhale. Sensations of warmth or coolness in the body. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like. But if you feel ready, you can begin to find some gentle movement coming back to the place that you're in. It may feel nice to bend the knees if they're not, or to stretch longer wide. And when you're ready, you can either roll to one side or help yourself up, coming into any comfortable seat. If it feels okay for you, you can bring the hands together to the heart. Invite one more deep breath in and out here.